Our presenter today is Hayden Reid. He's our plant and equipment risk engineer over here at NTI. Prior to NTI, he had 10 years experience in industry in the likes of engineering, asset management, maintenance across mining and the civil sectors.
Analysis of our large losses revealed that 22% of them are the result of mismaintenance opportunities. So evidently something so normal in our day-to-day lives, there's a bit of a disconnect with what's happening out there in industry. Let me ask another question. How confident are you that the people who are working on your assets know exactly what you're trying to achieve from them? Because I think that's probably the key question that I'd like answered today. 98% of these mismaintenance opportunities result in equipment fire and usually total loss of the asset. It is believed that that's why the claim is made, so that's why we as the insurer find out about it. But one thing that I thought that should really raise, and I think hopefully should resonate with a lot of the audience, is how many events of electrical failure, hydraulic hoses, and just other breakdowns occur prior to the one sets the machine alight. Maintenance done well is far cheaper than maintenance that's not done well. There's been many studies around the world trying to get to the bottom of it, but generally you're looking maintenance that's done in a reactive manner as opposed to proactive usually costs anywhere from 4 to 15 times the cost. Whilst we all want silver bullets and set and forget, maintenance, like many other areas of your business, that doesn't exist. It is a dynamic process, and it's something that has to account for a pretty large degree of variation. Take, for example, the current supply availability of both equipment as a whole and parts for them. So the lead times and increasing costs that we're seeing now really mean that any reactive maintenance that you do is going to cost you time and money. And similarly, at the moment, we're seeing very buoyant values of second-hand plant and equipment. Some of the feedback that we're getting from some quite progressive and switched on operators is they're placing orders now, starting to ready their machines for sale when those new assets get here in the next 6 months. Your asset management plan or strategy really has to respond to the changing market to take advantage when you can. So the fundamentals of maintenance, there are obviously far more than this. For the purpose of today, I think the ones that are particularly relevant and key to understand are your costs and your tactics. The thing about maintenance is the only choice you have is how much you want to try and control those variable costs. At the end of the day, you'll either have to do it because the machine will break down, or you can actually choose to do it earlier from being more proactive. Costs are not realised on an as incurred basis. So, I paid the invoice this month, but obviously understanding how many hours that piece of equipment did that month and just trying to slightly adjust your mindset. When you start to think in those ways, that's a real sign of asset management coming into play. Condition monitoring is probably one of the most important tactics and something that everybody should really have as part of their maintenance strategy. It's basically observations like you have in healthcare. They're used to identify any trends or changes and then take action. Similarly, if you're in agriculture and you're going into harvest, I'd strongly recommend prior to harvest commencing, you have a pretty thorough look over your equipment and make sure that it's in good working order and you're pretty confident that you're going to get your 2 or 3 months of continuous use out of it. It really will pay dividends. And the next step there is, once you've really defined that, is to set your expectations for the maintenance providers. So as I mentioned earlier, a lot of tradesmen have actually got like an inner craftsman. So if you can clearly define what you're trying to achieve from an asset, a lot of tradesmen will try and implement what they think is reasonable and practical to achieve that.
Thank you. We'll see you again next month.